article we were talking about, let's see here. This is at thesunjournal.com, and it is Maine Republicans expect convention results to be challenged on national stage. And they were talking about, where did we leave off at? I think both the Romney and Paul folks are expecting that the credentials will be challenged, said Bennett on Tuesday. This is Rick Bennett of Oxford, a member of the National Republican Committee and a U.S. Senate candidate. Let's see here. I've been to 15 conventions consecutively since I was a 20-year-old in 1984, and I have never seen this level of disorganization. Neither the Paul nor Romney campaigns, nor a spokeswoman for the National Republican Committee, responded to requests for comment from the Bangor Daily News. Kyle Rogers, chairman of the Saginaw County Republican Committee, who is running for the District 62 seat in the Maine House, said he and many others left the convention not only frustrated but doubtful about the validity of the process. Yeah, you guys are all upset because we're taking it over. Quote, "It was screwed up from the get-go," said Rogers. "It seemed like anyone could get a set of credentials. There's a process to it, and the process wasn't adhered to." So what wasn't adhered to? What part of the process went wrong? You know, you're just talking vaguely. Like, what happened? What went wrong? What proof do you have? You're not even making no accusations, except the fact that something went wrong, but not even saying what we did. If delegates from Maine are not allowed to participate in the GOP National Convention in August, where the Republican Party's nominee will be officially named, it means the state loses its voice on a national stage and that Paul loses votes toward the nomination. Maine Republican Party Chairman Charlie Webster said he expects those challenges, but that from his perspective, delegates at the state convention were appointed properly. And that's what Ginger told me yesterday. If you guys didn't hear that, we did an interview with Ginger from the Maine convention. She was there. She was exposing a lot of the shenanigans that were going on. And she said Charlie Webster met, I believe, with the delegates. And she said that, yeah, he knew that it was going to be challenged, but that he was going to stick by it. And these were going to be the people that are going to Tampa. All right, now here, quote, "Before I turned over the gavel, we established a process. We had a checker in each county," said Webster. "We had those folks involved in the tabulation. In my role as chairman of the party, I'm going to go to the Republican National Convention to make sure those votes are counted." Jan Dolcater, Republican chairman in Knox County, who is a member of the party's credentialing committee, agreed. Quote, "In all fairness to both sides, it could have been a lot more smoothly coordinated and run," he said. "It was absolutely exhausting handling people on the credentials. Most of them had been registered for less than a week." Now, let me understand this. How do you be registered for less than a week when these people have been through the district caucuses, county caucuses, now the state, our conventions, now the state conventions? Now, I don't know. Maybe I don't understand it, or I don't get it, and maybe I could be wrong. But don't you have to be registered for quite some time now? So I don't know. Maybe someone could correct me on that. Let's see here. Bennett said he'll fight tooth and nail to ensure that Maine's delegates are seated at the national convention. Also, at the state convention, much of the state Republican committee was replaced, according to a list of the new members compared against the old list on the Maine Republican Party's website. On the 80-member committee, including at-large delegates and those appointed by Governor Paul LePage, members of Maine's congressional delegation and the legislature are now 38 new faces. According to the Maine-based political blog Dorigo Blue, at least 31 of the new members were endorsed by the Paul campaign. That's a takeover right there, but we did it by the rules. We didn't hijack anything. We did it right, even with the shenanigans going on. Asked whether he thinks his position is at risk in light of the new makeup of the state committee, Webster said he doesn't think it is, at least not immediately. Yeah. He said his term runs until December and that the only way the committee can replace the chairman is with due cause and a 2/3 vote. Besides, we're in the middle of an election, he said. Webster said he shared a lot of people's concern about the organization of the convention, but that overall, the influx of new people was exciting regardless of who they support for president. Quote, "What I saw was a room full of plumbers, electricians, and hairdressers joining and trying to help us change the state," said Webster. "I'm giddy about the fact that there was a room full of blue-collar working people, and I don't care who they choose." Well, we're not choosing you, so let's see. While it's the exception rather than the norm, this wasn't the first time a party convention in Maine didn't go as planned. So, yeah, I mean, they're going to try and challenge it. I'm not surprised, definitely not surprised by that. You know, that's what they do. Okay, so let's see here. What else is going on? Have any other headlines here before we run out of time? Don't forget that I'll be on later on at 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on ronpaulradio.com. That's every day, Monday through Friday. And also in the mornings, 10 to noon Eastern Time. All right, so what else do we have here? We have, so looks like Obama gets beat in several, West Virginia counties? So let me see here. Prisoner beats Obama in several West Virginia counties. The most cynical yet humorous story Tuesday comes from West Virginia, where a man serving a 17.5-year sentence in federal prison for extortion won 40.6% of the vote in at least 5 counties in the state's Democratic primary. 53-year-old Keith Russell Judd of the Federal Correctional Institution in Texarkana, Texas, made a similar appearance on Idaho's Democratic primary ballot in 2008. Judd attempted to get on 14 ballots during that cycle by submitting a notarized form and paying the required $1,000 fee, but managed only to get onto Idaho's. This is crazy. So, yeah, Obama gets beat out by a felon. Is that what they said? Yeah. Wow. Now that's crazy. What else is going on in the news here? Yes, Senate candidate Dan Hughes shares views at Ron Paul rally in case you missed this. Let's see here. He's hoping to take the number 2 spot in the June primary under California's new top 2 primary system so that he can directly challenge U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein in November. Let's see here. A hospital chief executive officer and former factory owner, Hughes has the backing of numerous Tea Party groups statewide. So what are his policy stances? ECM interviewed Hughes during the Ron Paul rally in San Diego at UCSD on Saturday to find out. Hughes favors a strong national defense within a constitutional framework. Quote, "We need to follow the Constitution and declare wars through Congress," he maintains. Instead of free trade policies, he supports fair trade. Under comparative economics, things that can be produced abroad more cheaply should, but Congress should insist on fair trade. On women's issues, he says, you cannot legislate morality. He views birth control access as a matter of religious freedom for employers. You cannot force religious institutions to provide services that go against their conscience. Senator Feinstein, by contrast, has been a staunch advocate for protecting women's reproductive freedoms. In an issue that matters to East County due to industrial-scale wind developments proposed, Hughes that the free market should be allowed to work with regard to energy issues. He opposes subsidies for the wind industry. On the other hand, he is also for removing the subsidies from oil companies under a free market system. And you guys can check him out at danhughes2012.org, danhughes2012.org. So, yeah, we got more candidates. And I don't know if he's been endorsed by Ron Paul, but hopefully all of his stances are right there with Ron Paul. He was at the rally, Ron Paul sticker and all. So we got so many candidates running, y'all. And we got to make sure that we support them and get them out there. You know, have a Ron Paul person in every county, every district, every state. That would be crazy. That would be a real, true revolution. Awesome. Okay, so you guys make sure you check me out later today at 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have some more clips, some more headlines. I didn't get to the one about the diabetic teen upset with TSA screeners at Salt Lake City Airport. So we might have to jump into that later. Maybe we'll have an interview or two coming up later on in the show or later on today. Also, don't forget, if you haven't joined already, watch the Vote 2012 on Facebook. Watch the Vote 2012. And if you're in my area, Los Angeles area, LA Liberty HQ on Facebook. You need to join. Come help us out. All right, I'm Paco, your host. You're listening to Occupy the Media. Stay tuned.
One is a serial hypocrite who lobbied for Freddie Mac before the housing crisis and for the individual mandate before Obamacare. Another, a counterfeit conservative who opposes right to work.